What is the purpose of getting up in the morning? What wakes me up? What drives me forward? What directs me? What is the purpose of all that I am doing in the whole of my life? Not just in faith, but in my family, in my future, in my finances. The gold medal holder facing the prospect of being the world championship champion pushes his brother into number 2 place and denies himself. Instinctively. In an instant, he saw his brother in need. He knew his why, because his why was always going to be to help someone else. And he put his arm around him and he drew him across the line. And they started to say, but is this allowed? It's a question they asked someone 2,000 years ago. When Jesus saw a lame person and healed them on the Sabbath, was that what the law allowed? They asked. But instinctively he knew that the crown that he had was for us. And he saw from heaven the God that was loving us in his heavenly place looked down and saw us straggling around just like Johnny Brownlee was. And he came down and enabled us to cross the line.
If people can understand that as long as they don't forgive, they're poisoning themselves. It's like hating somebody who's hurt you is like taking poison hoping they'll die. It's like me being mad at somebody who hurt me that's out having a good time and don't even care that I'm mad. That doesn't hurt them. And so maybe this husband's been gone 20 years and he's been having a good time in life and he's married again and whatever, moved on. And so it's pointless. First of all, to do anything, you need to do it the way God tells you to do it. And so he said several different places in the Bible that you pray for your enemies. So first of all, are you praying for people that have hurt you?
But it's not just me. It's the Spirit of the living God. There's just no point in being driven. Recently, you might have seen the person that brought the action against Her Majesty's government on the triggering of Article 50 in the Supreme Court. When asked to describe herself, said I am a driven misfit. There's no point in just being driven. There is no point in being a misfit. There's even less point in being a driven misfit. But when the Spirit of God comes within us, he makes us and enables us to be driven and to be led for the precise purpose for which God has called you. He has already taken hold of you. He's got the grip. You put your hand in there as well. He gives you the grit, enables you to press forward. But you say to me, Ken, that's great. Yeah, I get the gig. I understand that. But what happens when I lose my grip?
Who is there among us who has not failed? I have failed. You have failed. We have all tasted the bitter dregs of failure. Every day you see people captured and crushed by some personal failure.
But the truth is really, you can take somebody that's really hurt you and ask God to bless them. And the first thing he's going to bless them with is revelation of what they've done. Because they can't really have a right relationship with him if they don't admit what they've done and come to a place of truth in their life. God desires truth in the inner being, was what King David said after his shenanigans with Bathsheba, and he went a whole year without confessing his sin, I guess making all kinds of excuses for it. Then in Psalm 51, the great prayer that he prayed, he said, you desire truth in the inner being. So every person, before they can have a right relationship with God, they have to face the truth. You can't get to where you need to be if you don't face the truth about where you're at. And so forgiveness, I don't think you can ever walk through. I can decide I'm going to forgive somebody, but I can't walk it out in my life if there's not some things that I realize. First of all, God's not asking me to feel differently about them. He's asking me to pray, to bless and not curse, which, if you study that, it means to speak well of instead of evil of. So, I need to stop talking about them in an unkind way.
If you have fallen, get up, because Christ has conquered your storm. Start living again. Start loving again. Start believing again. Start achieving again. Listen to the voice of the Master. Your storm is over. Stop allowing your past to control your future. Don't be pushed by your problems. Be led by your dreams. God is your Father. Nothing is impossible to you. Nothing is impossible to you. Nothing is impossible to you. When you believe that, you'll never be the same.